Welcome, everyone. You have now entered the cosmic radio receptors of KCIW 100.7 FM in Brookings, Oregon. Thank you for tuning into this week's fabulous program. I'm Dr. GiGi, and my co-host is, as always, Jacques Kepner. How are you today, Jacques Poo?
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the Doc and Jacques Radio Variety Show. I want to mention that you're hearing this live show on KCIW in Brookings, Oregon. That said, this same show will be rebroadcasted exactly 1 week from now, each and every Wednesday on KZZH 96.7 FM in Eureka and Humboldt. It said 8 a.m. next Wednesday, but that's okay. And then a few hours later at 1 p.m. on my old alma mater, KFUG 101.1 FM in Crescent City, California. So now you know the Doc and I have your coasts covered.
Right on. We also have today a couple of special things to talk about.
New things?
Yes, we have a new feature of the Doc and Jacques Radio Show.
Whoa, cool.
We call it the Chatting Chairs.
Chatting like a... I'm supposed to know these things, of course. Chatting chairs, yes.
Yeah, so that's the time when you, Jacques, and I will probe into interesting health topics that relate to us humans, more likely, and the world that we inhabit.
Cool.
So just to be on the safe side, grab a pencil and paper get ready to expand your horizons and learn some fascinating things.
Yeah, do the pencil paper, because there's some things that just blow my mind. We've been doing research on this all week and just having a ball doing it. This is the inaugural voyage of Chatting Chairs. We are going to discuss something that all humans have in common, and in fact, something that all life on Earth has in common, and that is sleep. Yeah. Did you know that the Greek god of sleep was a deity named Hypnos? Hypnos, that's where the word hypnotize comes from. This is so cool. Mm-hmm. Hypnos ruled supreme over humans in a huge way. After all, we spend about 1/3 of our lives sleeping.
Snoozing.
Yeah, snoozing. Yet in today's world, very few people know what power Hypnos once held over their sleeping lives.
Darn tootin'. Yeah, interesting. Well, so if Hypnos was the god of sleep, who was the god of dreams?
Bad dreams? Nightmares? I don't know who.
None other than Morpheus.
Oh, Morpheus was the god of dreams.
It was Morpheus who was the creator of our unconscious projecting dream lives.
Oh, cool.
Our alternative self.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Cool.
So let's give Morpheus credit for creating such beautiful and fantastic slumbering powers, but we can also blame him for causing us occasional nightmares and repetitious, dumb, stinking dreams.
I think we both had the same dumb dream last night. I was being chased by a lion, and it was...
And I tried to tell you how to close a sock forever.
I close a sock.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Morpheus lives on in modern society, especially in the medical field, through the word morphine.
Morphine comes from Morpheus.
Deep sleep, deep
which
dreaming,
means
euphoria.
Euphoria. Yeah. All right.
So let's look a little closer at sleep. The definition is actually, it is a condition of the body and mind that typically recurs for several hours every night, in which the eyes are closed, the postural muscles relax.
Muscles, what the heck? Okay.
The activity of the brain altered, and consciousness of the surroundings practically suspended.
Hey, Doc, do you know what that sandy stuff is that is found in the corner of your eyes after sleeping? It's called...
What?
Eye sand. Technically, it's called rheum, R-H-E-U-M, and rheum is made up of wonderful things like mucus, skin cells, oils, and dust. The rheum that comes from the eyes forms crystals. It also is called eye gunk, sleep dust, and sleep sand. I think that's
very technical words.
Yeah, I like that one, sleep sand.
Well, let's get into more stats and facts.
Our guest, James, is up there blinking really hard now.
Having them, so
rheumy eyes.
Rheumy eyes. Brain activity, we heard that while the body rests during sleep, the brain is very active. It's processing memories and information. Mm-hmm. Also, newer results have shown that sleep plays a housekeeping role in that it removes during the time removes toxins from our brain.
That is weird.
These toxins build up while we're awake and they don't have an outlet. All humans dream, and most people experience several dreams per night, lasting 2 to
2 hours.
a little bit more hours on average.
Well, Doc, I only dream of you.
All night long.
24/7. Everybody who sleeps has dreams, even if they don't remember them. Most people have 4 to 6 dreams per night, or as for me, I have a bunch in the mornings. Humans spend about a third, as mentioned earlier, or 33% of their lives either sleeping or trying to fall asleep.
Yeah.
I like that one. The average human falls asleep within 10 to 20 minutes of laying down, and people can survive much longer without food than they can without sleep.
What do you mean?
Well, the human being can live up to 3 to 10 weeks, depending on how much, whatever, without any food at all. Now, they have to have water, but the food,
No
they
gummy
don't have any
bears?
food for 3 to 10 weeks. But studies have shown that if you don't get any sleep at all over an extended period of time, you're dead within 11 to 12 days. Less than 2 weeks, you die.
Jeez.
Your
Wow.
brain just gives up.
Let's go to not dying that long, but sleep deprivation.
Yeah, the sleep deprivation is what I meant. Yeah, you can't have that.
Right. So, well, if you only have the sleep deprivation and not die, then it can actually affect mood, memory. It can induce weight gain. It can weaken the immune system, which ergo makes us more susceptible to illness. As a matter of fact, in medical school, we learned that the immune system really only works at full speed during sleep.
Whoa, cool.
Yeah, insufficient sleep can increase the risk of heart disease and other cardiovascular, so heart problems. And we also heal and repair our internal selves while sleeping.
Wow, that is cool. Have you ever awoken or ever woke up and you've seen something that wasn't truly there? Well, this is known as you got to announce it.
Hypnopompic?
Hypnopompic hallucinations.
Yeah.
Now, a similar phenomenon is hypnagogic
Yeah.
hallucinations, which happens right before falling asleep. In fact, our guest, I think, is in a hypnagogic hallucination right now.
No, deeply paying attention.
Both of these conditions affect about 60 to 70% of all humans.
Yeah.
And but by definitions, hallucinations occur only in full waking state. So our guest is not a hallucination, I don't think.
Well, he's awake.
Yet similarities to sleep-related experiences such as hypnagogic and hypnopompic hallucinations, dreams, and how about this one? Parasomnias
Yeah.
have been noted forever since antiquity.
Yeah, sleepwalking and sleep terrors.
Weird sleepwalking.
Yeah, there are those parasomnias, for example. They happen when the person is not awake. So not hallucination. So they're indeed fast asleep. About 15% of the population are sleepwalkers and or people that experience night terrors.
Did you know taller people sleep longer in bed? Did you get it? Taller people.
Already go.
Yeah. Taller people sleep longer in bed. Okay, it's going on. Okay.
Now, symptoms of night terrors. We all know sleepwalkers, right? Walking around.
Night terrors. What is that?
Yeah, symptoms of night terrors include behaviors of fear.
Fear or beer?
Including crying, screaming, agitation, thrashing. The autonomic nervous system goes in high gear, which means you have a fast heartbeat, tachycardia, tachypnea, which means you breathe very fast, and you can sweat because you're full-blown in a panic attack.
Wow.
So this is the weird stuff. There is no or possibly minimal only response to external stimuli. Like you don't go and shake them. Hey, what's going on? Why are you crying?
It's real to them.
No, they don't know. It's, as a matter of fact, when they're waking up, they say, hey, what are you shaking me for? Wait, what's going on? I'm confused. So they don't know any of that stuff. So it kind of bypasses the consciousness or the conscious brain.
It's getting weirder and weirder.
Yeah. So there are many, over 100 medically recognized sleep disorders.
I know. I take a couple. I take a light case of sleeping pills occasionally to get me sleep. Well, anyways, this is fascinating. You know that throughout the vast, this is amazing.
Right.
Listen to this one. James, you got to hear this. Throughout the vast amount of human history, Since time immemorial, humans followed a biphasic sleep cycle.
What does that mean?
A biphasic sleep cycle is simply translated, people slept in two distinct phases in a 24-hour day. But here's the kicker. With the advent of extensive artificial lighting over the past few hundred years, biphasic sleep cycles has faded out and has been replaced by a what? An 8-hour sleep regime.
Right.
Well, I think that is, so we used to be biphasic, meaning we'd sleep 4 hours here, 2 hours there, maybe, well, that'd be triphasic. But
Yeah, if you
shoot.
well, so there's also polyphasic sleep.
Oh,
For example, dolphins and hummingbirds, they have the sleep patterns that are polyphasic. They sleep in bursts, basically, in short little bursts. They sleep
yeah.
a couple of minutes here and there, and so that's how they rest.
Well, cool.
Now, you talked about different times of sleep. Sleep needs to change or does change with age. Babies, as we know, sleep forever, 16, 20 hours a day. Yeah.
My God.
While adults, us, typically need 7 to 9 hours.
Okay.
That's where the 8 hours comes from. Now, what happens during sleep is, what they find during sleep is that there are multiple so-called neurotransmitters, meaning from the little talking molecules from one nerve to another. And examples are serotonin, which you also find in a lot of antidepressants, norepinephrine, which is the rest and digest
Huh.
neurotransmitter, and acetylcholine. Acetylcholine is found in a lot of different ways, so no need to explain.
Doc,
Dopamine. listen,
dopamine, we all heard about
dopamine,
that,
yeah.
yeah.
Dopamine is actually a wake you up neurotransmitter.
Whoa.
We've heard the dopamine in Parkinson's disease. So it also is a wakefulness.
All right, cool. Sleep alert. Those who enjoy sugary snacks before bed may be more likely to experience nightmares and otherwise bizarre dreams. I didn't know that. Also, studies have shown that people have a harder time falling and staying asleep in the days before the full moon. Luna is out. I think that's fascinating.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a tiny bit more about sleep disorders.
Okay.
Insomnia is a sleep disorder, meaning you cannot sleep, right? Either you cannot sleep, you cannot fall asleep, you cannot maintain sleep, or the quality is really rotten even though you have adequate opportunity for sleep.
70% of Americans say that they suffer from sleep issues.
Yeah. Oh, for
How
sure,
about you,
yeah.
James? Are you a good sleeper?
Oh yeah, I've had insomnia for most of my life, like 14 on. I pretty much
Whoa.
slept between like 4 to 6 hours on a really good night. And now, since I met my wife, it's gotten a little bit better. But yeah.
Cool. But you're typical. I mean, we have a problem in this country.
Yeah, and so a lot of times sleeping pills are being taken. However, that can lead to more problems. So everybody knows dependency and tolerance of the sleep problems. Some medication helps you fall asleep. Some medication keeps you asleep. Some medication knocks you out. That's mostly the one that one gets.
The stuff I take is super lightweight, right?
Yeah,
Seroquel and hydroxyzine.
Yeah.
They're kind of like antipsychotics or something.
Seroquel is.
Oh my God.
But
I really think
it's
I'm-
just such a low dose. 25 milligrams is used to keep you asleep.
Yeah.
And hydroxyzine is really an antihistamine, but it's used as an anxiolytic so your mind can rest.
And by the way, I heard that Benadryl, recent studies, right? You read it too, that Benadryl is now having a link. Daily consumption of Benadryl, like many people take, is bad. There's
I have taken Benadryl
connectors.
for years every night to fall asleep. And after you told me, I have switched now because that's a new finding. And
about the
the
correlation with
Benadryl, yeah.
Alzheimer's,
Yeah.
with Benadryl. Just throw it out there. Okay, yeah, ready to go. Well, that's something that I want to do. I'm gonna jump into a Jaguar and I'm gonna start driving while asleep, because that's what some of these weird nocturnal behaviors like sleepwalking and driving. Honestly, God, there's driving while asleep.
Yeah.
I just thought it was Tom
drivers.
Bozak out there driving around. Heck, Tom, and thank you very much for your sound engineer, and he's here as always helping us produce this show. But well, anyways, I had a college roommate who was a sleepwalker, and he would end up getting into the closet and then climbing up and getting into the loft above the closet where you put shoes and things, crunch himself down and wouldn't have any idea how he got up there. I mean, a major thing he'd have to get up, how he could get up there anyways. But and that's just a weird situation. Well, there wraps up sort of our initiation of sleep on the new chatting chairs. We're going to try to discuss this each and every week, and we are real excited about that. Speaking of getting ready, yep, it's time to introduce one of our favorite guests here on the Doc and Jacques radio show. Super talented showman and all-around nice guy, James Debottis is here in the KCIW studio again after 4 months he was here.
Yeah,
had such a good
December.
time. We brought him back, and he's going to share some of his backstory and play some of his original songs and music after we
Woohoo!
get to
Welcome.
know more about him. James is known for his incredible drumming talents, but our studio is too small to accommodate such instruments.
drums.
So James will be playing his guitar in a bit. I told you he was talented. So let's jump right in and introduce James Debottis, otherwise known as JD Drums, to the Doc and Jacques Show. Welcome back, James.
Welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
All right.
Yes, so you can remind us, please, where were you born and raised?
I was born in Lansing, Michigan, but I was mostly raised in Portland, Oregon, which is where I spent most of my life touring out of there as a musician as well. So
Very cool. How did you end up here?
I was on tour with a band called Sweet and Juicy. We played a show here in town at the Oxenfree Bar, and I met my now wife that night, and we stayed at her house because we were broke musicians and needed a place to stay. And she was kind enough to put us up and then take me off the market as well. So
Now, remind us, when was your wedding anniversary?
it was literally yesterday, to your wedding anniversary.
Hey, Priscilla, if you're listening, I hope you
Yeah,
are. Or you could,
congratulations.
everybody could listen to this show later on by going to kciw.org and just clicking on past shows, scrolling down to Doc and Jacques, and you could play it at your leisure. So you
What
were,
was-
yeah.
Yeah, how long have you been playing?
I mean, drums most of my life. I've been playing professionally since I was about 12 years old. That's when I started like recording albums and going on the road and stuff like that. But
Very cool.
guitar I started at 15, bass I started at 17, keyboards I started playing in my 20s because I needed to start using more instruments for making. I make like hip hop beats and rap beats for people. So that's a whole separate section. And once I started getting into production, then I learned a bunch of other stuff too because
Okay, so
it never stopped. Just keep learning stuff.
you've already mentioned Oxenfree. You did, I think, what's
Yeah.
your gig? What do you do at Oxenfree, and how long have you been doing it?
Oh man, I think it's going close to 6 months now.
Cool.
Time's flying for sure. But yeah, we've been running the open mic night over at Oxenfree every Tuesday night. Sign-ups at 7:30 and music starts at 8 every week. We always have a great featured artist. We try to feature as much local talent as possible. So if you guys want to contact either me at JD Drums Facebook or my partner Keith Roberts at his Facebook,
Hey,
it's
Keith,
always a great
what's going
place.
on, man?
Yeah, man. it's the
So,
best.
so you're at Oxenfree. The hours are late. It goes from 8 till 10.
Pretty much, it's till like 11 or midnight a lot of the time, honestly.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's a
Wow.
true open mic. Anybody?
Yeah, anything. Like we had a spoken word guy. We had a couple of comedians last night. We had a singer-songwriter, like acoustic guy. I didn't bring my instruments last night because it was my anniversary and we were celebrating. But usually I have electric guitar and bass and acoustic and all the things. And we have a great sound system. You know, it's a good situation.
All set up, and the food and atmosphere of Oxenfree is unique. Oxenfree, for those that don't know, is located right downtown next to the Redwood Movie Theater in downtown Brookings. So people come down.
Basically
from,
the same building
yeah, people
block
come up
than
from
us
Crescent
here.
City. People come down from Gold Beach and beyond, and people come up here and. Hey, open mic is always a good venue. I look at an open mic as what? A talent show.
Yeah, essentially.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
And a talent springboard too. Like I love giving people that are like kind of new to the scene, who may be nervous and don't know how to book or whatever, they can come in and get more comfortable on a stage with a live sound system and how that whole process works. And we can try and get them some tips. And, you know, we give them a tab and like we try to give them as much as we can to like help support them in their evening and
Right on.
promote for them and all that stuff. So
Right on.
Yeah.
Cool. And then you have a featured guest each week, right?
yeah, and I try to have it somebody different every week, and I try to have it never be myself because I don't want to. I don't be like, hey, it's my night. And it's not, honestly, it's really not. Like my partner Keith does, like if anything more than I do physically, and I really appreciate him. He's like, I want to say like I couldn't do it without him, but I can definitely say for sure like I could not do it as well, not even close without him at this moment. Like he's been a huge help, and we're trying to do all kinds of things together. We're starting a new production company and all kinds of things. So It's gonna be
Right
good.
on.
Go Keith.
Why don't you ask the question about the difference between traditional? If you
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you play the drums, your
Yes.
JD drums. What is the difference between traditional drums and the digital drums?
I mean, over the years, it's changed. Obviously, acoustic drums are just very loud in general and project a lot, and electric drums have the ability, at least nowadays, to be completely like as loud as tapping on this table instead of like a projection of sound. And you can put headphones on, and to where you're the only one who can hear what's actually happening. And it's great for recording. You don't need microphones. There's tons of advantages and disadvantages to both sides. Obviously, if I was like a rich man, I'd have a giant studio with a big drum room and a huge live drum set and all that stuff. But realistically, for my situation, electric has been very helpful.
Yeah.
And for the small clubs around town, bands that I play with, and even when they come see my solo shows, they really appreciate not being blasted in the face
Right.
with like these really loud cymbals. And, there's all these things that happen with live
Now,
drums.
could you also adjust the flats or the keys or whatever that's called?
I can, yeah. If anything digital, I can adjust like anything from the tone to the volume to like how it's being projected to the crowd. Like I could hear it different in my headphones than you do in the crowd, depending on how I want to make it work. So that's all really fun.
Yeah,
But I'm also a traditionalist too. Like I play
right.
regular instruments, guitar
Yeah.
and bass and piano. Lots of, so like I use the best of both worlds now.
Which one is more popular?
I mean, I would say generally like acoustic drums, and even though I love my electric drums, like there's no replacing the feeling of playing like on a really nice acoustic kit, just full volume, like even like outdoors, it sounds like amazing. So I love that too, and I will definitely I already have another live kit getting started now, but my electric kit is like my workhorse and what I will continue to use for most things around town because it just makes
It's probably
sense.
easier to move, right? It's like
Not really, actually.
Oh,
That's the
no?
reason. So it's like it's not a small one either. It's a very large drum set. As even if it was a regular drum set, people would think it was pretty big. But after setting everything up like you would a normal kit,
Yeah.
then I have to go to the electronics and start plugging everything in
Yeah.
and get all my levels right and everything. It's like the best or the worst of both worlds, I guess, in that sense. Like you have to set up your whole drum kit and then you have to hook up all the electronics like you would with a guitar. So you have to know how to do both things.
Things I've noticed are two things. Number one, you could adjust the volume by basically just turning down.
I literally have a volume switch
Just
for my
volume?
track separately and my drums
All right,
and the
so
master volume.
That's
So
a
it's like,
great advantage. That
Yeah.
You're in a smaller venue, you're in a weird room that has weird acoustics, you could turn it down.
it's nice.
The other thing I've noticed is that I've seen these new drum sets that are digital drum sets, and it takes up almost virtually no space because there's no big, what do you call the big foot drum?
Yeah, like they have a lot,
just
and
have
that's
a
been a thing for a while.
pedal
Like
they
a
step
small kick drum is what they call it, but just like a little pad that is just big enough for your pedal to hit it,
Right.
and like a tiny little rack with like these thin little pads, and that's great for like compact or for like if you had a tiny stage, that'd be really great. But like honestly, I can still fit mine on most stages relatively easily, and it's infinitely better feeling to be on a kit that feels like a real. Like with those small pads and everything, it feels very unnatural as a drummer.
Now, do you have to, for those electronic ones, do you have to put that little window in front of you?
No, because there's no projection. Like I said, like everything is rubber and mesh and stuff like that. So like the only sound that's coming out is actually from the speakers that are usually in front of me.
Oh.
So I wear my headphones while I play as my own monitoring system to hear
Right.
myself. And then my
wow.
band and the audience is hearing everything through my sound system.
Right.
Jeez. No, so you have played and performed on many venues and places.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have a local favorite?
I mean, Oxenfree always has a soft spot in my heart because that's where I met my wife for sure.
Right.
Aw.
You played though.
I love South Beach Porta Pints. It's like my
Yeah,
my new
down at
favorite.
Yeah,
venue,
you've been there several times.
I've been trying to play there at least like once a month, and I think we're building a good crowd out there. So Russell, if you're listening to this, have me back
Russell
soon.
Smithson, yeah.
Let's
Hello,
go, man.
Russell.
Yeah.
And James, Dr. John Kirk and his wife Cynthia. They're all
James
James Kirk. Well, they, that is a different stage. It's a big stage. Checo's is huge, right?
Yeah, totally.
And then you get Enoteca in that's small. No, Enoteca is okay.
It's
That's
pretty
regular.
good,
But
yeah.
now I'm thinking of Porta Pints at first.
Oh, the
yeah.
Really small.
North.
Every once in a while, we play there too with like Robert Tiernan's group and stuff like that.
Right,
It's like
that's cool.
It's like a little more intimate, and like we kind of play some more like jazzy stuff to like.
That's what
the
we like.
small room
We
stuff.
go there because for the show where we're such big dancers, but we also like just going in, kicking back and being entertained. I always think of it brings me back to the nightclub days of San Francisco.
Totally,
Just go
yeah.
catch a good jazz act.
Yep.
You're a supreme drummer. Wonderful, wonderful musician. Too.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Have you produced your own albums or CDs?
Yes,
Yeah.
constantly ever since I started recording. I mean, nothing big at first, obviously, but I've already finished a hip hop rap fusion type album this year with a local artist His name is Bobby. I won't reveal his last name just in case he doesn't want me to, but his rap name is Demon Eyes, and we're
Demon Eye.
yeah, it's pretty good. It's one of our more popular songs as well, self-titled. Second album's being done right now, and it should be finished by August, so I want to have that out by my birthday in September.
Cool.
Very
And
cool.
since you were here 4 months ago, you're working on a second album, right?
Yeah, the one 4 months ago that I think we just released it, or we were about to release it. I think we had just released it, so I was telling you about that, and that's on SoundCloud and it's all over the interwebs and stuff, so you can look that up for sure if you just look up Demon Eyes.
Keep those pens and papers because you're going to find out a lot more information about James at the end of the show, so you can write down how to get a hold of him. All right, keep asking.
Have you met or played with any famous folks?
Of course.
Yeah.
He's
tell
heard
us.
us with us, after all.
Well, besides us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up playing in like a sort of 80s style, like hair metal style band with my mother was the lead singer, so like big blonde hair, like Bombshell type. And then,
when you were 12?
well, all the way through when I was like 18 and she retired.
How cute.
So it was like, we're out there playing like legitimate, like Motley Crue-esque, like hair metal and like looking, leather pants, the whole deal. And so all these 80s bands, 70s and 80s bands were coming back on the road at the time in the early mid 2000s. And they're like, we're going to do reunion tours, all this stuff. And so we would just go open for all these different bands, whether it was like an Ozfest or a Warped Tour.
So you get to meet a lot.
Meet ton of them for sure, but like actually like sit and have conversations with like some really, like Sebastian Bach, the singer for Skid Row for a long time. He, one of the biggest compliments I've ever had, and I still remember it to this day, is he came out after an opening act when they're supposed to follow us. And we're just supposed to be some nobody opening act. They've never heard of us. And he literally comes back and he's like, "You're the best drummer I've ever seen, dude." He's like, "I don't know what the hell I just saw, or what the heck I just saw." He's like, "That's absolutely ridiculous." And I was like, I literally told him, like, "You can't be serious." I was like, "You played with some of the best dudes in the 80s. Like they were, like some really legendary." So that's a huge compliment. And I love playing with those guys. And then when I was doing pop punk stuff, played shows with like Weezer at like New Jersey Music Fest and stuff like that. Like those big like collaborative festivals and stuff like that where they're just like 100 bands at the same time.
So you get to really get to walk around and meet all these people. You played all these things as a drummer or maybe as guitarist, which you'll be playing today. What's the hardest type or genre of music that you play? Is there a challenge? Or is there a certain? I mean,
this is why. So it's definitely divisive in places like this where like rock and metal is not necessarily as popular. But I'm from Portland and I toured with like metal bands all throughout the years, and so like progressive metal specifically, like bands like Dream Theater and like even a lot of newer ones that are coming out now. It's like all about musicianship, pushing the boundaries of like what you can personally do and then getting together with a group of people and like pushing each other, which is really fun because it's like there's no limits to it at all. And I like instrumental stuff as well because you don't have to worry about it being like, oh, who's the singer? Like who's the front man? It's like, it's not about some like pretty boy in the front or some pretty girl in the front. It's literally like, these guys are awesome and we don't even need vocals because they're so good at what they're doing.
Now, how do you promote or land the gigs then?
I mean, I've been cold calling for years. I'm telling you, I've booked whole tours just by like finding a route that I'd like to drive and finding places that I think look cool along the way and just calling them and being like, "Hey, we're going on a tour. Do you want to book us on such and such date? I got this window of time I can come through town." And 9 out of 10 times they're going to be like, "I don't know who you are." Give you the ring around, but it's like the first guy that says yes, I'm like, "Cool, that's my new route now. Now I'm going here."
Oh, very cool.
So it's like if you do that for 6 weeks straight, like really working hard at it and you really plan everything out and call 20 times to every place.
Yeah.
Then you can make it happen as an independent person and you don't need a booker and a agent and all that stuff. So that's what I do.
Now, you do write your own music. So do you go after a certain trend or do you, because you say you want to push yourself to the limit?
Yeah, it's always different. I mean, I'm just listening to every genre I can get my hands on that like speaks to me and then listening to the bands that I feel have the best musicians in the world and then trying to learn everything that they do. Like on the drums, I can learn any song as long as I have enough time to learn it. Like it wouldn't matter what the genre was. I feel confident in saying that. On the guitar, it's completely different. You have to know what key you're in, what tuning it's in, like the phrasing of the notes and where he's even playing the notes on the neck because you can play the same note in 4 different spots. You know what I mean? So there's all these nuances to that are way more difficult and intricate. So like I would say it'd be much more difficult to be a progressive metal like guitar player, a really good one, than it is to me to be a drummer because that's just naturally what I'm better at.
Wow.
So.
Well,
it's not fair to say that would be that way for everybody, but I feel that way.
I think the drums has got to be the hardest instrument. Well, you have to have that beat, you have to have a rhythm, and then you got to have an ear. Speaking of an ear, you're tuned into KCIW 100.7 FM here in Brookings, Oregon. You'll also be hearing this down at KZZH in Eureka, Humboldt, and my old alma mater, KFUG 101.1 FM in Crescent City. I want to thank some major supporters of community radio. These are people that make these kind of programs possible. Advanced Airlines is flying in and out of nearby Crescent City to Oakland and LA now 7 days a week. Marie and Brett Curtis in Brookings, our next-door neighbors here at Remax Coast and Country Realty. Dr. John Kirk's Porta Pints, we were just talking about, Doc, the Porta Pints Craft Brewery, now with 2 locations in Crescent City. Michelle Bupert, our own vibrant local Curry County Chamber of Commerce CEO and do everything gal. Big salute to you. Jim Doc Bellardi and his Crescent Land Title and Escrow Company in old downtown Crescent City. He has a bear in his front window, a taxidermied bear. It's pretty different. Big shout out to Dan and Phyllis Schmidt for their constant friendly support. And then the reimagined Crescent Harbor Art Gallery in Crescent City, anchored right in the harbor, right next to the boats. A big shout out to Stephen Washburn, the president of the board of directors for the Crescent Harbor Art Gallery. And then our region's only, bowling center. Bowling. Can't say bowling alleys anymore. Bowling center, Tsunami Lanes. It's on 101 in Midtown Crescent City. And finally, Dr. GiGi, thank you for your support.
And yours.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it. All right, back to James Debottis. James, are you getting better with age as you...
Certainly trying. But yeah, I mean, I don't think I've hit the pinnacle yet. Luckily, I still have some years to put in, and I started really young, and I do try to stretch my brain as much as possible. Like mental elasticity is huge for me, constantly learning new things. And
yeah, very good. Now, when is your next event?
Here, let me next Tuesday night.
Well, yeah, definitely every Tuesday at Oxenfree for sure.
8 o'clock till 11.
I can even tell you this. Next week we have the Chetco Effect as our featured artist, so that'll be a fun night.
Yeah.
That's that new group of guys, right?
Yeah, and then I'll be out of town the following week on my post-anniversary trip that we're doing. We're going to go see Kaleo at Red Rocks and spend some time over in Denver, so that's going to be fun. But that week, the 13th, on that Tuesday, will be the rapper I was talking about, Demonize. He's doing his first
May 13th
feature. May 13th. And so he's going to be doing our original music like for everybody there. It won't be any covers. It's like all our stuff, so... That'll be cool. But I'll be out of town for it, unfortunately. So go support him. Anyways, my next gig, because I've had some off weeks here, I have Oxenfree on May 16th and Inoteca on May 17th.
Inoteca, we love it.
Yeah, Augustino's on May 24th, and then Groundlings Pizza on May 31st.
Up in Gold Beach.
Yeah.
Cool. You are busy guy. You're also doing...
Yeah, May and June are pretty cool.
It should be. That's a good time of year.
Yeah.
Do you also do private events, weddings, parties?
Of course, anything. We are, especially with our new production company just launching, hit me up for a business card. It's going to be great. It's still in infancy as far as like, whatever we're going to need. I'm sure it's going to be a whole process of red tape like everything else is. But essentially right now we can do whatever we want live sound-wise, recording-wise. If you need a private event, even like a small private karaoke where you want to do it in like your backyard, like you do everything from that to like half a football field if you want to do, like something for like a high school graduation or something.
Yeah,
we have
that's my huge party.
So.
That football field of people come to my party.
I just like, it's a good way to put it. Like we can have like that many people and still have them hear everything really clearly. Like I said, my partner Keith Roberts just invested a lot of his own personal money into it, and so he's got an awesome like huge outdoor JBL sound system. We already have the sound system
right on
every week at Oxenfree. It's going to be a good thing. So
I got to
look us up.
Yeah, I got to meet Keith
yes.
Roberts.
I told him, I was like, we should have him on next time. He plays bass too. He's a really good bass player. He plays bass in Antidote. Is another new duo group.
Love to hear that. Love to meet him too. Yeah. All right, let's get it. We're going to come back and find out where you're going to be, where you see yourself later on, and how people get a hold of you. But let's listen to a couple of your songs right now. What's your first song going to be? And these are original compositions, right?
I just have some backing tracks that kind of replicate some standards, I suppose, in the musical world. But it's got my own flavor, and then I just play some solos over the top for y'all, so that you can get kind of an idea of what style I like.
Is that a glitter pink guitar you have there?
Yeah, and this will be probably the last time you'll see me play it. I actually I have a friend of mine that is going to purchase it from me because I just got a new guitar.
I'll give you $20 more than he will.
Oh, I don't know.
All but it's
You
like
got
Vern
competition,
Monet.
John. You better start bidding.
Vern Monet, the guy's like, he's an addict to collecting guitars. He just...
I'm the same, but I rotate through them. I don't like hanging them up and not playing them. I like getting new ones and having new tones to play with.
You guitarist. All right. What is your first song called?
All right. Unnamed funk awesomeness. It's hard to name songs that don't have lyrics,
All right, James Debottis here in the studio with JD Drums. You'll find out.
All right.
Let's hear it.
Unnamed.
Unnamed awesome.
awesomeness, all right.
I mean, so that's a backing track, but you're doing all the guitar strumming or playing or picking or whatever.
You should see
And-
those fingers.
And you sure going up and down the bar there. I mean, up and down the neck of that thing, feeling good. Wow,
Very nice.
so very good. Where do you see yourself in a couple of years? Where does James Debottis want to be in a couple of years? Any big...
I mean, as long as I'm with my wife and playing music and doing my thing. I mean, preferably just not working a regular day job and just playing music to afford a comfortable life is like the main goal. And then everything else past that is like you're blessed, you know? So
Yeah.
What do musicians generally get paid? I mean, for just doing gigs?
not enough.
Not enough, yeah.
Not
I
enough.
mean, and when
But
you
it's no fault of anybody. Like, it's just they pay you what like they can generally afford to pay you, and in any given town, you'll get what that town can afford to give you usually. Like, sometimes there's an outstanding bar that like tends to do better business wise, so they can afford to get bigger
and what
acts.
would be good, like 250 and up?
Or
Or something?
yeah, it depends. Like, are you a single musician? Like, if you're a solo artist,
Yeah.
then you can make a lot more money.
You get
Right,
it
which
all.
is you're not-
Why everybody's kind of branching out and doing their own thing now. It's like kind of it's fortunate and unfortunate because it's giving single artists a spotlight to shine. But then like real bands are like, if I have a 6-piece band, where am I supposed
Well,
to go
the
play?
Robert Tiernan and Friends, for
Well, yeah, we
example.
literally just accepted that we're doing that for fun. Like we'll make like $50 a piece,
Yeah.
and it's like it's not a jab. Like it's not they're paying the band like $350 or something like that. It sounds like a good amount of money, but if you have 7 people,
Right.
Right.
so and like it's not like we're getting $500 in tips either. So it's you can have good nights and bad nights, and that's totally fine. We all accept that's part of it. But like if you're a touring musician, you probably make a little bit more because you're on the road. They know you have mouths to feed or whatever. Or like maybe you don't have to spend any money on anything because you get a free meal every place you go, and
And a free meal, a free
get
beer.
friends everywhere to let us stay at their places and stuff, so we don't have to.
So
rent
do you
hotel
make
rooms.
any money with selling CDs or Spotify or
It's
Google
no,
Play?
not like CDs for sure, not because I'm not even making them at the moment. I'm doing everything digitally at the moment, and so the streaming revenue that you would need, or like the streaming amount of views rather that you would need to get revenue from it now is in the millions. Like to get anything worth even shaking a stick at. It's not like if you get 100,000 views, like you get $100,000. Like that's not how it works.
Right.
I think you get like
Wow.
a 0.001 cent on every play that you get. So if you get 10 billion plays, then you'll have $10 million after 10 billion plays. Like it's
Yeah.
not a
Sure,
good margin.
nobody has 10 billion. I mean,
It's like
yeah.
there's like 3 artists that have that anywhere on any platform. You know what I mean?
what's
So
her name? The one that sang that British...
It's unfortunately not who you think. it is.
Alina Adair.
We all want to think
Adele.
it's like
Adele,
the
yeah.
people. Yeah, even her, she's probably like number like 26. It's like the people that deserve to be on the top of that list are like almost never on the top, which is totally fine. I'm not expecting to be top 40. That's not my goal in life. I would much rather be a successful independent artist who was able to do all of the things that most people pay other people to do just all by myself, so I don't have to pay
Well,
them.
we enjoy watching you because you seem you're having a good time up there.
Right.
Always.
Playing your drums and you're having all this background tracks. All right, well that's
the
cool.
guitar right now?
What's your next playing guitar now? That's great. This is not even what he's known for.
Right. Yeah.
Secondary instrument, yeah. So
What
I want to see
about
some drums.
What about the next song? What's
This one is inspired by an artist that I really love. His name's Guthrie Govan. He's like, I want to say he's like the best technical like jazz fusion guitar player in the world. But let's just say he's one of the best guitar players in the world. And if you see him play, you'll understand why I'm saying that. But this is a simple, like he has these beautiful, simple, jazzy backing tracks, and then the stuff he does on guitar is like, puts me to shame. So it's inspired by him, but in no way am I going to play his.
all right. James Debottis here with another original piece. Do these change every time you play them? Are they a little bit different?
Yeah, I definitely. I'm fully
let it flow.
improvising as far as what I'm playing, and then I guess I play them enough over time that some flows end up happening. But yeah, for the most part, I'm just kind of giving you what I naturally do.
Unnamed
Nice.
song number 2, James Debottis.
Here we go.
KCIW. Now I see a spray bottle. It looks like a miniature hairspray can, and it says Finger Ease on it. What is that?
Finger Ease, your free advertisement for the day. When your strings are getting a little old, but you like the feel of them and you don't want to change them, use Finger Ease.
You mean you sprayed on the...
It's a lubricant for your strings. It keeps them moisturized. It kind of wipes off the gunk from, you get little chunks of skin and all that gross.
Yeah, room.
And then I have this little
eye gunk
rubber bar thing that kind of gets the dirt off of it, and then a microfiber cloth inside of that helps fully.
I thought it was something you spray in your fingers like glue or so.
No, it's the opposite. It helps you slide across the notes instead of, because you can get hung up sometimes and different stuff. So I just try to keep my stuff as smooth as possible.
All right, we have time for one more. Make it about a 4-minute shot here, and then we'll finish up with giving you information about how people get a hold of you, and then we will go into our last few minutes with the fun time corner. Those people that only listen to the jokes and quotes. Darn it.
Still hoping.
All right, James Debottis here.
Fine, they got to listen to me play before they get to the jokes.
That was cool. fades out. All right.
Very cool.
James Debottis
Excellent.
here in the KCIW studio, playing his heart out with the guitar, his pink guitar. It's an Ibanez. Ibanez? Is that how you pronounce it? Very, very cool. Doc, ask him the last few questions, and that is...
All right. How do people get a hold of you?
Many
Thanks for
different ways.
prompting me there.
Facebook's always good. JD Drums, fairly certain I'm the only one. Certainly the only one in Brookings. And then phone number's always good, 541-254-1944.
Say
for
it
me.
again.
One more time.
541-254-1944.
All right.
And then...
I'm still hearing music. I'm hearing the background.
Nice.
Yeah, backplay. There we go.
There we go.
Got it.
Hey.
Got it.
We were long fading. We're done. And then for my partner, Keith Roberts, we got robertskeith61@gmail.com for email. And for the phone number, it is 310-678-5785.
One more time.
It is
Phone number?
678-5785.
And that's to Keith.
And that is
Roberts.
Keith Roberts. Call either of us anytime if you need anything sound related, live shows, birthday parties. I don't care.
And we can also find you at Tuesday nights at open mic at
every week.
Oxenfree in Brookings. And you're going down into Crescent City and you're playing at the Port Pines. Hey, I just wanted to say, I don't think I recognized Chetco Medical Anesthetic Center as being one of our major sponsors. I think for some reason that was
Oh,
well,
geez.
there it is.
Okay.
Now,
Now I've done it. Yeah.
Now I've done it. Okay, James Debottis, thank you so much for coming in, man. You're always welcome here. Next time, come with Keith and have him play a little back in
Some bass. Yeah, that would be great.
We'll have a great
We can
time.
do a jam together.
Yes, thank
We'll
you
have
for
you
coming. It was awesome to
All right.
Thanks,
watch
guys.
your
Thank you for
fingers
having me.
there.
Peace and love.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, what do we have next, Doctor?
We have
Fun Time Corner. Oh, boy. Like I said, some people only listen to the show just for the last
At
3
least
minutes.
that's what they tell
My
them.
great jokes, though.
Yeah.
Okay. Give us a quote. Doc.
Okay, yeah. You got me good quotes today. You chose the quote. Yeah.
I get to do the first one, though.
No, I do.
Because it says man. Okay, go ahead.
Early to rise, early to bed makes a man healthy, wealthy, and dead.
James Thurber. Yeah, okay. Give us another good quote there.
No wonder Sleeping Beauty looked so good. She took long naps, never got old, and didn't have to do anything but kiss a frog to get her Prince Charming.
Yeah, I mean, so we're talking, of course, the theme on these things is dreaming and sleeping. But what dinosaur makes the most noise when it is asleep?
What?
A Tyrannosaurus.
Okay, my quotes are better than your jokes.
Okay.
Give us a good joke.
All right, I already said taller people sleep,
that was a
sleep
funny
longer
one.
in bed, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm so good at sleeping, I can do it with my eyes closed.
It's a cute one.
All right, give us another.
Sleep is like a cat. It only comes to you if you ignore it.
I like that one. All right, give us another one. I like the insomnia.
Okay, then you tell it because I don't get it.
All right. Oh, don't do it. Just go to the next one. Some people can't sleep.
I thought you wanted to think the
I don't
insomnia
like
is
that one.
great.
I don't like it anymore because you don't like it. I only like what you like.
Okay, some people can't sleep because they have insomnia. I can't sleep because I have the internet.
Very true, right? But
good one.
I can't sleep because I have you in my life. I love you so much.
Yeah, I thought you
You're
were
my
bringing it
dream.
on me.
You're my dream, bro. Hey, what do you call a sleeping cow, James?
Ground beef.
A bulldozer.
It's on the ground. I don't know.
Bulldozing. Ground dozing. Okay. I just bought a sleeping bag for $30,
And?
but I have no idea how to wake it up.
Oh, he's so cute.
I like that one. Okay. I'm on a good side now.
Without enough sleep, we all become tall 2-year-olds.
Without enough sleep, we all become tall 2-year-olds. That's true.
tantrums being-
Yes. What do you call a nose with no body?
And what?
Nobody knows. Get it? Get it? Nobody knows. I think Don
that's a funny
Bozak
one.
cracked a smile in the engineering booth.
A good laugh and a long sleep are the best cures in the doctor's book. Apparently, at least it's an Irish proverb.
Yeah, and a good laugh and a long sleep are the best cures in the doctor's book. Same one.
Oh, wait, you have that as a joke?
Sort of. I can. There was a kidnapping at school today.
And?
It's okay, though. He woke up.
Oh, kidnapping.
Yeah, there was a kidnapping at school day.
my
It's okay, though.
gosh.
He woke up.
Nice.
Oh, my goodness.
Happiness consists of getting enough sleep. Just that, nothing more.
Wow. Cool. Okay.
Okay.
The best bridge between despair and hope is a good night's sleep. This is very true.
Yes.
I think we are on the end of our exit
We
here.
are.
Had a great talk here
It
with
was very good.
James Debottis.
Yep. You have been listening to the Doc and Jacques Radio Variety Show with James Debottis on the helm with us. It's on KCIW 100.7 FM in Brookings, Oregon. We hope you have enjoyed the show as much as we have.
Yep, and it'll be heard again next week at KZZH 96.7 FM in Eureka and KFUG 101.1 FM in Crescent City. Email us if you know of an interesting person that might join us on the show at docandjacques@gmail.com. Now, stay tuned for Tony Durso right now after this program. Peace and love, everybody.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thanks, James.
Thank you, guys.